Well, the mortgage world has been unpredictable in 2020, leaving many people wondering about their home ownership dreams. So what can buyers do to prepare for what's ahead? Well, Roxanne is joining us today from Western State Bank. We're going to talk about some guidance and tips. And anybody out there who's even considering buying a home, I think probably the biggest thing you and I discussed is you need to have a relationship with a lender, a really, really good one. So regardless of market conditions, it's important to our financial situation. You know, before you start looking, we want to make sure that we build that relationship. Why Western State Bank, and how can you really help people kind of navigate what's going on right now?
I think it's very important that if you've been pre-qualified, that's great. That's a great first step, but you really need to check in with your mortgage lender at least weekly, if not every other week, because rates are changing so quickly right now, very unpredictable of what's going on. So you need to have that relationship to know how that increase in rate is going to affect your payment. Make sure you're still comfortable with that before you go in and make an offer on a home. So
there's a lot of things that play into whether or not I can get pre-qualified for a certain amount, how this is all going to work. One of those things is credit. So while rates are fluctuating, it's still extremely important to make sure you have a good credit score. Can you tell us about that? How can that help you get the best possible rate?
Well, credit is definitely a key component in the mortgage lending area, and like you said, better credit score, the better rate you're going to get. So I would definitely suggest, if you're looking at purchasing a home in the near future, to definitely reconsider taking any other new debt out, because any inquiries on your credit could affect that score by going down. The other thing is, if you do have any collections, any judgments, anything like that, make sure those get paid in full before you apply for a loan. The other thing is on your installment debt or your credit card debt, if you're only 30% of that limit, that's going to give you the best return on your credit score. So, and then of course, making all your payments on time is definitely the biggest key component.
And this is, again, why it's so important to have a relationship with the group that's going to help finance your future mortgage, because maybe somebody wants to sit down with you and they're like, I just am not really sure where I'm at in terms of what my credit is or what I should be doing to make sure I get the best score. And you can sit down with them and say, all right, these are some areas we need to focus on. And that's the power of having a great relationship with the person financing your mortgage, really, and kind of working through this, because it's not a short-term thing. It's not like you pick a house, you go to the bank, you pay for it, you walk away. That's not how this works anymore.
Nope, unfortunately it is. To have that relationship with your mortgage lender is definitely the biggest asset that you're going to have in getting that house, and knowing what the payment's going to be, what you're expected to have at the time of closing. I like surprises for birthdays, but not for mortgages. So,
you know, you should put that on a t-shirt.
Yeah, exactly.
I love that. All right, so say that we're ready. We're ready to go get that house. We've seen a cute house. We want to do it, but it's very, very competitive. So please tell us why it is important to make sure that you are pre-qualified before you try to go out there and get that home.
Yes, you have to be pre-qualified, one, to know what you can afford, and also to have a very knowledgeable realtor on your side, because we've seen homes have offers with thousands of dollars over the initial asking price. And in a situation like that, if you're offering, say, $10,000 over the off of the asking price that's out there, you may have to bring in that additional cash if the home does not appraise. If the home appraises, that's great for both you and the seller, but if it does not, we can only base our loan amount on the lower of the purchase price or the appraised value. So that could be additional funds out of your pocket that you may not be expecting.
And that is the challenge, I think, for a lot of people, because when you're going out and you're looking at these homes, because it's so competitive, a lot of times, you know, people are trying to upbid other people because they want to make sure they get that house, but sometimes it goes 10-20% above what the value is, and then you have to go back to your bank, and then your bank's like, I don't know if we can do that.
Right.
Because your income maybe doesn't support it, or your debt to equity ratio, whatever it is. And again, that's the whole point of build a great relationship with your lender. So do you have a quick few recommendations for people? What should they do next?
As far as, I really think they need to just speak with their lender and keep in contact with them on a weekly basis, especially now with this very crazy market that we're in the midst of. So rates are changing at a record speed. So definitely just communicate and check in to make sure you're comfortable before you make that offer.
I think that's great. And of course, if you have questions, if you really want to dig into this further, I wish we had all day to talk about it because I love this kind of stuff. But you can go to Western State Bank, find Roxanne because, gosh, Roxanne, you sure seem to know what you're doing. Very knowledgeable. But yes, please get in there and do that. So now, switching gears entirely, this is not at all related to finance, but it's dinosaurs. If you're in the mood for adventure, Jurassic Quest is up next. We're going to chat to the group that's putting that on and see if we can get our little dinosaur stomp on.